to an episode of Off the Shelf. I'm Restoring Team HD, and this time we found off the shelf was...
角束
Noroi.
さっきなんか映像がおかしくなったんですけど
Noroi the Curse, the 2005 Japanese mockumentary horror film. Lots of those words, lots of words. But, if you don't know this, I love found footage horror, but I'm very picky about my found footage horror. It has to be done in a near specific way. It has to be in a specific way that I like, which is, selling it. It sells the found footage aspect of it, which, sells the realism. And it just really hammers in that bit, the realism bit. Even though we all know it's a movie, the realism part really makes it scary, to me. I mean, I'm not personally that scared of found footage, I just love the idea of it. They find this tape or this whatever, this camera, they find this footage and they release it as like a investigative thing to help the investigation about what happened. I think that's really fucking cool. But this movie is probably, I don't know, but it's either number 1 or number 2 on my favorite found footage films ever. It might have dethroned Blair Witch, but I'm not too sure. I needed some more thinking on it. But this film is genuinely probably one of my favorite J-horrors I've ever seen. Maybe my favorite J-horror film I've seen so far. And it's just so fucking good. It is probably the best mockumentary I've ever seen. And that's not even hyperbole. I don't see many mockumentary horror films that much. They're mainly comedies for whatever reason. And this one just, breaks the mold. And it's, just so fucking good. And I love this movie so much. And I think it's so good to the point where I don't want to spoil any of the major plot points. So that you can witness, or you can watch it and maybe you'll understand, or you might understand and you like it too, and you'll understand why I think it's so amazing. Because, okay, before I go on a rant, I'm going to explain what the basic gist of the storyline is. So, there is this paranormal investigator named Kaguya, I believe, and his cameraman, and eventually they're just, doing their investigative journalism, supernatural investigative journalism, and then they start out by investigating these strange noises that this woman is hearing from her next-door neighbor. And it goes from just investigating random noises to demon possession, babies. I'm not going to explain what the babies have to do with the story, but there's babies. It goes from rituals, fucking evil spirits, fucking weird fucking ritual towns, dams being, water. It turns into a whole thing, and all these weird investigations that he makes, they all eventually connect into a perfect finale, into an amazing final scene, and it just ends. When it ends, it just ends. Doesn't even have any, ending text, like some found footage films have. After the film ends, they do, a little spiel. But the best part is, they do the spiel before the final scene that they show. And then the final scene that they show, they just show it. There's the copyright year, the black screen, and then it ends. This is why, I'm not going to talk about that movie. It has nothing to do with this one. But personally, this is just a little off topic. But I love when movies, horror movies mainly, when there's a scary scene, a very scary end of the movie. And at the end of the movie, it just ends. No credits, no nothing. It just ends. And you're just sitting there, and the lights are all on in the theater, or you're just sitting there staring at your TV in your dark room or living room, and you're like, that was fucking terrifying. I love that feeling, because you're alone. You don't even get the music of the credits to comfort you or calm you down. You're literally just staring at the black screen. It is perfect. I wish more horror movies did that, especially found footage films, which most of them do. But I just think the lack of credits really add to it. Makes you kind of like think about it. You know, it gets in your head. You know, you get time to think about the ending of the movie. You get time to think about all the events that happened, how it all connected. And it just really gives you a lot of time to contemplate about all the things that happened and what it means, you know, what the whole movie means. And it lets you contemplate that in darkness and silence, which adds to the dread of it. It is so brilliant. And this movie is just so well put together. It might have a higher budget, but I don't think it did. It looked very low budget, and they fucking went all out with this. I don't know the exact budget, but I know it was low. But even then, you couldn't tell. Like, you couldn't tell. Like, the movie was incredibly well put together. They had, like, there were these really well put together, like, one of my favorite, like, little details is, like, not, like, a huge, amazing thing about the movie. I just think it's a really cool detail that they had. Since it's, like, a mockumentary, and it's supposed to be, like, a documentary that was never released until now, there are these, like, segments that they take from TV, like TV experiments or talk shows and shit like that, and it's different. It's like a shittier, like VHS type quality, like a shitty TV rip, and it looks great. Like, it all looks like it's from different sources, which it would. It's a documentary, right? And it, like, just sells it even more. Like, not all of it is the same camera quality. And another good thing is, at least I didn't recognize any of the actors in this film. Didn't recognize any of them. And that also really fucking sells it, because these are all, like, nobodies. They're great actors, but they're, like, nobodies. And that's what you need in a found footage film to sell it, is to have good actors, but nobody knows them. You know, if they die at the end of the movie, because usually in a found footage movie, that's what happens, because if they don't die and get rid of the footage, then I don't know, it just wouldn't make sense. But it sells it, and I want to get into spoilers here, but I really also don't, because I highly, 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 highly recommend this film for, you know, found footage fans, horror fans. If you like J-horror, definitely seek this one out. And just watch this movie. It's so fucking good, and genuinely, I think it's become one of my favorite found footage films, and probably one of my favorite horror films, definitely in my top 10. Love this movie to bits. Definitely recommend it. And I could go on for hours on the spoiler segments of this video, so maybe if you guys want me to discuss the spoiler sections of this movie, if you guys want me to go into deeper analysis, maybe not analysis, but just me gushing over how much I love all the little details and all the little story bits together, and how well they come together at the end, like the connecting tissue. Oh, it's so good. But if you want to see all that, leave it down in the comments, or leave a like on the video, and that'll be a sign to me to make a part 2 of this video where I go into spoilers. But for now, I'll leave it here. And I'd rate this film I want to say a 9 out of 10. I rate this film a 9 out of 10. It is not perfect, but it's close. Genuinely a masterfully, in my opinion, put together film that just expertly does horror and mystery. Perfect. But before I rant even further, I think I've said all I can say without saying any spoilers. I could say a lot more, but I've said all I can say without any spoiler discussion. So, I hope you guys like this video. I hope you share it with friends, subscribe, turn notifications on, comment down below how much you liked it. And I've been Runtime HD, and I hope you found this footage enlightening. Signing off. It's funny.
You winked at the fucking camera.
It's funny. You laughed at it. It's funny. It's funny.
I laughed because it's stupid.
It's supposed to be stupid. That's what makes it funny.